But Phil Poleski, our Mideast expert, is sitting here with us, and I was wondering, Phil, how, from your perspective, were these terrorists able to pull off such an elaborate terrorist act without the slightest detection on the part of the FBI, the anti-terrorist forces in this country?
As good as our agencies are, there are always going to be some people that could slip through, number one. But secondly, we have not yet adopted, and we have not faced the reality of the 21st century, what we're really dealing with. And as long as we keep our head in the sand and don't start really adopting very tough anti-terrorism measures, very tough security like the Israelis, we should have security men on every single plane. Even if it's going to cost us more money, we should have 1 to 2 security men at every plane. Israel has never, since they've done that, has never had a hijacked plane. I mean, there's a lot of things that we can do that we haven't do and that we're going to have to face.
I suspect our lives, those of us who travel by plane on occasion, are going to change considerably after
But more than just the plane, our lives here will change. This will change our lives. We hope that the Bush administration gets serious about dealing with terrorism. There's a lot that they have to do. They just can't allow this kind of thing to go on. Ultimately, once these countries or these rogue states have nuclear weapons, somebody's going to do a nuclear weapon on us. And then we won't be here sitting in the studio. Somebody in Wisconsin will be broadcasting about what happened to us.
You bring up Israel. I was in Israel about a year ago, and coming from New York and going to visit Israel, you're so upset because you see these young people, soldiers, walking around the streets with the big machine guns, and they're everywhere. They're on every corner, and there's bunches of them everywhere. Right. And, also, you can go a mile away, and it could take you an hour to go a mile in Israel because there are checkpoints along. They just, sporadically stop people.
Well, they're living in a microcosm of what we're going to be dealing with, and we're even more vulnerable than they are. They are dealing with it in the best way they can. We're much more vulnerable. We're a much more open society than Israel is.
Just to underscore your point, Roseanne, I remember when I was in Jerusalem, to go into a shopping mall.
Right.
You first of all are stopped not at the door. You're stopped at the entrance to the parking lot. The official looks in your car. He checks it inside and out. He writes down the number of the plate, make sure you're the person who's supposed to be driving that car, and that's just to get in the parking lot. Mm-hmm. Then you have the metal detector when you walk in the door, and inside the mall itself, there are specially constructed litter boxes so that if you drop a bomb in one of them, they will explode upward and not outward. So I think these are the kind of things that are in place in Israel right now because they have had a history of terrorism in their country that we're going to have to start dealing with it ourselves.
I was wondering, Phil, if you might think that the way we handle our airports might need to be changed a bit as well. I know we have a lot of private security firms that actually handle, access to the runways and to the...
I mean, a group would come with a few armed guys and just kill the thing and go right on a plane. That's why we have to have armed security men on the planes. I mean, if we had armed security men on the planes, we would have a shot of avoiding this.
You're talking, though, but we would have to, double and triple our police force, our security force.
We are going to have to allocate a big part of our resources to protect ourselves. There's even more that we're going to have to do. This is only the beginning. There's so many other things that this has to do with. This is a tremendous threat. This is a wake-up call. But unfortunately, this is the Pearl Harbor of the 21st century for us. And the president will have to deal with it. He will have to deal with these people overseas that are telling us they're going to destroy us. They're going to take out this country. He's going to have to deal with it. As long as you let them simmer and do these things and get away with it and you let these other countries build nuclear weapons, we're going to be sitting ducks ultimately.
All right, Phil, thank you very much. Appreciate your input.